Welcome to She Rises Up podcast with Gema and Lara. We are multi-award winning international coaches, authors and speakers specialized in women's empowerment and conscious leadership for women. Here we want to empower, uplift and elevate you with conscious conversations aimed to unify femininity, business and consciousness.
Welcome to another edition of the podcast, She Who Rises Up. With you speaking is Lara, and we have Gema with us today. Hello, Gema.
Hi, Lara. Hello, everybody.
Long time no speak.
Long time no speak. Just a few minutes, right? So a few seconds.
Just a few seconds ago. So before we get started, let us share with you the structure of the podcast. The way we do it is we pick up some oracle cards before we start the conversation, and then these are the cards that we're going to be talking about today. And we have two beautiful cards that we know that's going to be very beneficial to our beautiful audience. And talking about the audience, we would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast so far. We have been receiving beautiful feedback, and it's so beautiful to hear it and to know that through the messages that Gemma and I, these conversations that Gemma and I are having are making an impact for you.
That's awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Beautiful. So this podcast, it goes out every 2 weeks for now, and it's the reason we decided to do this podcast is because since we met Gemma and I, we were having really deep, beautiful, insightful, and life-changing conversations, and we thought, how can we start sharing those conversations with the world, and that's how we started. So these conversations are up to 30 minutes. They are raw. We don't know what we're going to be talking about. We know that the headlines, but we don't know what's going to come up during the conversation, which I think this is one of the unique points, right, of this podcast. What do you think, Gemma?
I think so, and I wish we were recording earlier because we had an amazing conversation just before as well. And so it's the unique selling point, I think, of our podcast, that is totally raw, we have a couple of minutes to prepare just before, just to gather some ideas, but whatever will come out, we have no idea what will be. So that's the beauty of it, that you get really freshly downloaded conversations. So today we have two words that came out that I particularly love. I love everyone that comes in every episode, but today we're going to be talking about self-healing and also about confidence. Those are the two cards that came out. To me, self-healing, what it says in the card, are self-healing, for self-healing, attune to your inner wisdom. And it reminded me that I'm going to go really out of the word here, but in the new world that we are creating right now, a new world, and where we want to be free. We want to be free and abundant and full of love in this new world that we're co-creating humanity with the universe. And to co-create this new world, we have to take personal responsibility and take power over the two things that they, and when I say they, is the people that control humanity, they use to control us, which is health and economy. So by taking the power over those two things, we become free. And how can we can take power over the economy by doing many things that are happening in the world right now that I'm not gonna go into, but it's going to be a virtual sustainable world in the future based on crypto, I think. But anyway, it's not for this conversation. But health, taking the power over the health, taking full responsibility over our health will make us free as well. And that means taking power over our own body, listening to our body, see what it needs, taking fresh foods, taking fresh air, having walks by the sea, having the vitamins and the supplements that we might need, and looking for alternative ways of healing, whatever resonates with you. At the moment, I'm seeing a naturopath, naturopath. Is that the right word? Is a natural doctor, and I'm taking supplements, and he's doing things on me based on what my body needs to heal. So he's listening to my body. He's just an instrument to heal, to listen to my body. And it's not also the body, but the mind and the spirit. So what things we read, what things we watch, and for the spirit, what do we do to keep the spirit in a good mood, to keep the positive vibe and to keep the energy high? Because having the energy high, health will not be as compromised as much. So that's what I thought when I saw the self healing. And that's attuning to our inner wisdom and looking for the power within by tapping into what the body already knows, what the body already knows.
Wow.
What do you think, Lara? What was your first thought about self-healing?
Oh, the first thoughts, again, as I'm listening to you, the further thoughts that were coming to mind, and that is, do we realize that we have the capacity to self-heal? Right? That was the question that was coming to my mind. The answer, I know the answer to me is absolutely freaking yes. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? So yes, we do have the capacity to self-heal. And there was something else that was coming to my mind, and that is, when we go to, and this is actually, I was thinking about it last night, so maybe in preparation for today, um, when it's, how do we know when to stop going outside, when the answer is to go inside, right? So we go to all the healers and we go to all the coaches and we go to everyone. So it's, at one point, do we decide that that is enough? I don't know the answer to that, by the way. I don't know. I love working with people. I mean, the conversations that Gemma and I have from a coaching perspective when we coach each other are mind-blowing, mind-blowing. And that was one of the reasons, again, we started these conversations. And then I'm thinking, to what point do I continue, right? Or is it a combination of both? Is it a combination of me raising as a human and equally co-creating with the other person? Like, for example, the pre-conversation we had this morning, Gemma and I, it was absolutely mind-blowing. Would I have come to that conclusion on my own? Probably, maybe yes, but maybe would have taken me a very long time, or maybe not altogether, right? So that was a thought that was coming to my mind. That it's how, to what extent can I rely on external resources instead of actually going with it? Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. I mean, for me right now, it's both, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. A good question too. Because what I think is, we go to external resources when we feel disempowered, because we don't know the information, or we don't know how to listen to our own body or to our own voice within, or to attune to our own wisdom. So we seek outside help, and that's perfect. As long as that help is guiding you to go within and find your own answers, then it's perfect, and then you will know what to do. But sometimes you need an external person, like this doctor, natural doctor that I'm visiting. I don't know how to do what he does. I don't have all the products that he has to test my body for what the body needs, and he has that attunement. So yeah, if I need a bank, I will have to go to the bank. If I need something in the supermarket, I can produce that myself. So you might need help for something on a constant basis, but for other things, the resource, or the objective will be to always go within and find the answer within yourself, if you can. So it's a combination of both. Yes, I agree.
It's a good point. It reminds me of, I needed to complete an interview a few days ago, and one of the questions that I was asked is, who inspired me? Who inspired me? And maybe this is a link more to the second conversation here. So we're already going naturally into that conversation, or it's actually, we're supposed to having it now as part of the self-healing topic. And the question was, who inspired me? And I remember thinking, yes, there were a lot of people that inspired me, situations that inspired me, but I also inspire myself. I'm also one of my biggest inspirations. And I thought, what is the real reason that we go outside for inspiration? Is there also a lack of not knowing, or a lack of remembrance? right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that was the thought that came to my mind. Again, so many of these questions are still interrogation marks, that we're unfolding, but some of them are yeah, food for thought, right? Food for thought. So when I was talking, when I was, when we got the card of self healing, the favorite philosophies I get, yeah, it's a philosophy. It's that an unhealed woman is a disempowered woman, right? An unhealed woman is a disempowered woman, which actually is very much linked to the next topic, which is confidence. And and it's not I feel, because feeling is based on feelings, but I know, right? Which is something way much bigger. Sometimes we know things without knowing how we know it, right? So I know that one of the answers to the lack of confidence, to the lack of so much going on in the world, it's a lack of healing, that we haven't taken our healing seriously, right? I mean, for example, in the context of when I was employed, and I was leading for love most of the time instead of from love. And I remember that I would bring all my past into the conversation. I was the leader though, right? I had this department. I had so many, in fact, I had several departments. I had so many people I was looking after. Yet, people were looking up to me. Yet, I would bring everything to the table. All my traumas would be brought to the table. All the my conditioning would be brought to the table. Everything would be brought to the table when it came to me doing a job that influenced others. So that's why I think it's so important for people to take their healing seriously.
Yes, yes, I agree. I think there is something, um, probably the word healing has strange connotations, maybe, and people think, oh, healing is, I don't know, I need to go to someone and put crystals on me and do some sort of magic. And it's probably associated with that kind of way of thinking. Maybe not, I don't know, but that's what I thought. And it's nothing about that. It's self-healing is about going within and listening to your own body, listening to your own mind, tapping into your own wisdom, and knowing, like Lara said, that we have the capacity of self-healing. Do we know that? I don't think people know, because we're not taught that. We're taught to go outside for a medicine, to go outside to see a psychiatrist or psychologist, instead of having conversations like we do, which are very much healing. So that's why we go outside, because we haven't been told that we have this capacity of self-healing, and bring the wisdom from within, to solve our own problems, I think.
Right, right, right. You're right. I mean, you're right about the word healing, right? There is, I remember, I think I may have told you that the day that we met and the event that we met, I remember we were speaking, both of us, right? We were speakers at this event. And I remember the lady that was sitting next to me was a healer. And of course, I was coming from the corporate, I had the corporate energy coming through. And I'm thinking, what are these people talking about here? What, the universe? What are they talking about? What, crystals? I mean, have we gone crazy? Let's talk serious business, right? That was my mentality. And check me out now, right? I mean, you should see the transformation. And that was because I had an issue with the word healing. I had an issue with that word, which is obviously it's my thing, something that I needed to work on, right? Nothing to do with the other people. If anything, those people have become great, amazing influences in my life later on.
Yeah, yeah, it's great that we can shift those things. And confidence, which is the second word, I think is pretty much associated with self-healing, because I mean, you said it as self, I can't remember the exact sentence now, but self-healing, or an unhealed woman, right, is an not empowered woman. And an empowered woman is confident. Confident to me is the power of being authentic, having an authentic presence that um, shows that you are healthy, that you have self-healed, that you radiate gentleness and love and health, and you can see that a confident person is a healed person, that is full of wellness and health. So I think they're pretty much associated. Confidence probably um, associated with everything, with the body, with the mind, with the spirit. If you feel confident in your body, it doesn't matter your shape, you show it, and you healthy. If your mind is healthy, you show up confidently. If your spirit is grounded in you and you working from your heart, you feel confident because you are your full spirit. So confidence and self-healing go really well together, because to get confident, if you are not, you have to go through self-healing, absolutely, whether it's the body, the mind, the spirit, or all together, right? What do you think?
Amazing. What I think, I mean, confidence is, I would say, one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm glad that this came up, because it's the number one reason as to why women want to work together, right? They come to the workshops. And I have so much to say that I don't know if the rest of the time that we have now, we could really talk about confidence. But here are my thoughts. I know that a lack of confidence is actually a lack of remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Lack of confidence is lack of remembrance, which leads me to one of my favorite quotes by a lady called Lala Delia that says that she remembered who she was and the game changed. She remembered who she was. So a lack of confidence is lack of remembrance. Now, when it comes to confidence, I realize that, like, by the way, if you go to Google and you Google confident or how to be confident, there are millions. I mean, I'm talking about like millions, like in the hundreds of millions of entries on this topic, which makes me believe and think that if it was as easy as going to Google to get confidence, it should be very easy. Yes, there are a lot of the information that is being recycled, but it's way too much to be speaking about the same topic over and over again, which means that there's something that I'm looking for outside, because I'm not remembering, right? Because I'm not remembering something else. I feel that the word confidence is such a lazy word, Gemma. It's such a lazy word. I'm going to use the word confidence because so many times I haven't had the courage to look, actually, is it really confidence or is it something else?
Wow.
Is it really confidence or something else? And it reminds me when I did my TEDx a few years ago, and people would say, "Oh my God, Lara, you were so confident." And I'm thinking, how? How? I've never spoken in front of 1,000 people. That's going to be on YouTube for the rest of my life if it goes wrong. How, how is that supposed to be a confident thing, right? But what I had was courage. What was my driver was courage, that I had practiced for so many moments in my life, that was really what that was translated to others in the eyes of others as confidence, but the truth is wasn't confidence. In fact, let me tell you another story here. As you can see, I have so much to say about confidence. Another story. I remember I must have been like 25 or something like that when I attended one of my first management programs. Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about the dates. Yeah, about 24, 25. And I remember people speaking about and asking a question so about confidence, and I'm thinking, I don't understand that word. What does confidence mean? Right? And it wasn't until later, and I needed to go to the dictionary to understand what actually confidence mean. And I was translating it to Spanish, and even in Spanish, I didn't understand that concept. And that is because that was never taught to me, which is a good thing. I'm seeing it from a good perspective here, right? So it wasn't until the age of more than 25 or so that I learned what confidence is, right? Which is a good thing. What else can I share? So finally, do you know what I would like to share? I would like to share. Yes. So the question that I have for you at the back of this story is, where did you learn about confidence? Where did you learn that where did you learn that from? Where did you learn it from? Think about that question, right? And one final thing before we see what comes up in this conversation. I don't recall where I got this from, because I said that so many times, so I'm sure there are some words here from me. But for me, one of the best philosophies about confidence says it's the belief in the ability I have to do anything I want, regardless of the outcome.
The belief
That I have,
uh-huh.
the belief in the ability that I have within to do anything I want, regardless of the outcome.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
This is, and regardless of the outcome is the key point here.
Yes. Yes.
Like I remember when I was a speaker, I was doing speaking engagements for one of my last employer, and sometimes I'll have 300 people or 200 people in the room, and sometimes I'll have 50. So imagine if I um, was it, how do I explain that? Imagine if my self-worth or my confidence was depending on the number of people that came to that talk. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, right? I would go up and down all the time. And
Yeah.
if I would go up and down all the time, right?
Exactly, exactly. Well, I love that, and it ties very nicely with what the conversation we were having before recording this podcast, which was about being a co-creator. I think that's really important as well, because I just realized, listening to you, and especially to that quote, that to be a co-creator, which to me is okay, we are responsible for our own lives. We at some point or in a past life overcome the victim mentality, take full responsibility and become creators, until we realize that, okay, yeah, I'm creator of my own life, but I am more powerful if I co-create with my divine source, with my divinity, because they know, or that knows, what's best for me. So to get to that point of realization that you are a co-creator, and to give that power to yourself, is you go through lots of self-healing, of course, but it's an act of self-confidence, and it's very closely related to that sentence. You need confidence to go out and say, I can create anything that I want in the world. I am the owner of my own ship.
Is it really confidence though what we need in this moment of time, or is it that, or is it something else?
Mm-hmm.
The reason that people keep wanting confidence, 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 confidence. What is it about the word? Is it also one of those words that are actually, we've been told externally to look externally, when actually the answers are there all along within?
Wow. Wow.
All right, we're going to think about this, both of us now.
Wow. Hang on a minute there. We have to go within. Pause. Yeah, absolutely, because you said what you needed was courage at that point. So what do you need to create, whatever it is that you need to create in your life? Is it confidence to go out there, or is it the belief that you can do it, or is it the courage, or what is it? Is it to feel free? Do you feel free enough to create your own world, or are you dependent on somebody? So I think that's why those two concepts came together today, because self-healing and confidence goes so closely to self-healing. Because if confidence is not really confidence, it can be so many different things. The path to get there is the self-healing, to realize that you're missing something within you that you want to become, and then heal yourself to get there, and then you feel confident, or a little bit more confident, right? Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Very nice.
Exactly, exactly. Do you know what thought is coming to mind? And this is something that and I'm thinking about the ladies of, of the program that I'm facilitating, Rise, and we talk a lot about confidence there, and confidence is not a constant, right? I don't wake up in the morning feeling confident,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? It's something that, if I want to use that word, I personally don't use that word because it's not in my reality, to be wanted to be confident. There are other more specific things that I focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what I shared, that confidence is a bit of a lazy or even an empty word as such. But you don't wake up like that. I don't wake up courageous in the morning, or maybe that's dreams I've been having. That's a different story. By the way, I'm not sure if I told you that I am now charting my dreams.
Oh, wow.
I'm charting my dreams. I have a little book next to me, and first thing in the morning, before even listening to your messages, Gemma,
Oh my God, that must be really important then.
because that would be the first thing I'd do in the morning. And that's to chart my dreams. And sometimes I don't remember at all, but the more I chart, I realize that I am remembering more.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. And then the second thing, I listen to your messages. So what do you think about this conversation, right? I mean, it's very interesting, as confidence and self-healing, they go hand in hand.
They do. They do. And they both direct you to go within. right? Like, well, we normally do that, but they direct you to go within. The self-healing is said in the card, attune to your inner wisdom and the confidence, connect with your inner truth, with your self-worth. Self-worth, that's another word, because confidence, the opposite would be the lack of self-worth, right? To feel that you're not worthy, that you're worthless. And that, I think, is one of the biggest problems that most people have. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, is the biggest fear, and we think it's a lack of confidence. And going back to what we were saying earlier, is it really a lack of confidence? Confidence, we just realize it's such a general subject that it might not be. So it might be worth going deep into this statement, I'm not good enough. But what is it? Why are you not good enough? Why are you lacking? What do you think you're lacking, right?
I totally agree with you, Gemma. And I would add another question. Where did you learn that from?
Yeah, oh my. Mm-hmm.
Right? Where did you learn that from?
Mm.
Or who put that in your mind?
Who told you? Mm-hmm.
Who told you? Exactly. That's a better question. Who told you? Right?
Yeah.
Who told you?
Yeah.
Intentional, or not only who told you, but also how did I interpret that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Interpret that in my mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And what values are you having that you're not meeting, or that make you feel not good enough? What are you measuring against? Is it because you haven't got enough money? Is it something external? Is it something inside of you? What is it that you're measuring against to feel not worthy, right? Because we're all worthy. That's not truth for anybody.
That's not true. Exactly. Wow. That is not true for anybody. For anybody. Oh, wow. Wow. What a beautiful way of starting to wrap up this conversation.
Indeed, so.
Beautiful. Any final words, Gemma, before we start to say goodbye?
Well, I would like to read a sentence that it's the definition of cultivate authentic presence, which I mentioned earlier. I've been working on this card. It's a card from another deck that I bought. I think it's the Warriors of Shambhala or something like that. And I pick a card many years ago. And you can only pick one card, and until you achieve what it says in the card, you cannot pick another. So I'm still having the same card after all these years. I don't even know what's in the rest of the deck. And it got cultivate authentic presence, and it resonated with me totally, because at the time I wasn't authentic and I wasn't confident with everything that means. And it says authentic presence is genuineness that radiates both gentleness and brilliance to others. Cultivate inner authentic presence by letting go of selfishness and regarding other people's welfare as more important than your own. Obviously, there's a lot to talk in there. But what brings to me to this conversation is the radiation of gentleness and brilliance to others, which is that beauty that comes from inside, generated by your self-healing, your self-confidence with everything that we know it means now, and that self-love that you really, really are. So when you tap into that, you realize your worth, because that's what you see when you look within, that you are loved, basically.
Wow, wow. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Can you pick a card from that deck? Can you do that, oh wow, what a beautiful way. And for me, it's a reminder of this beautiful quote that she remembered who she was. So the game changed, and our hope is that these conversations become portals for you to remember. This is one of the intentions. And with that, ladies, we will speak to you very soon, right? If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to reach out, if you want to share this podcast, we would love also to hear your feedback, to see how these conversations are supporting your remembrance journey and your self-growth journey. Until yes, in 2 weeks' time, right? In 2 weeks' time, we'll see you again, and goodbye. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
That's all for today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining our conversation, and we truly hope you loved it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to our podcast and also share it with other fabulous ladies so they could benefit from it too. If you want to get in touch, you could find us on all major social media platforms. Speak to you very soon.